You want to know what I was just told? Makacha wechi when you Chancellor Chair, with your permission, can I stand on the protocol? Yeah. A lot has been said about me. Mama, you know, I was my bro.
Yeah,
Madam Honase. There, we just all the way biara. Now, on the mammy to Waba Temechi. Pepe bi waha, na mpede mu bonism. Nare nyim no ho. Mamo akwaba. Wale ho a. Mami nchewe. Mpocho munua nti. But try them be jama wajun bi but one ye. Chancellor, just a few, let's say 1 month now, there has been a series of inaugural lectures. But there are two of them which have, in fact, endeared to me. One was by Professor Davis, and one just last week was by Professor Edubando. Professor Davis made us understand that a word can mean differently to two different people. Professor Edubando also made us know that in a discourse atmosphere, one instruction can mean a different. Just this morning, when I was getting myself organized to come, a friend came to me. Nana, what's the your doctor? I a doctor. So they began them not. Also, no, why the paper simple. Into why are you here? Because I heard that you are going to be made a doctor. I brought you bandage. Two. Bandage being syringe, not about what do mesobatic pressure. And the last but not the stethoscope. This is not the doctor. Also, I will focus. Nemo say talk to Vice Chancellor. Oh, his expertise is in medicine pharmacy. Anytime you need any drug for any patient, tell him he will formulate one immediately. So, Vice, you and I are going to set up a clinic. So, reserve one office in your. Yes. What is happening today is an act of God. And I give God all the honor for what is happening to me today. It started when I was in Deloitte. A partner asked me to travel to Aquatia. There was this German who had a concession to mine diamonds. And she wasn't happy with what was the returns on her investment. So I was asked to go and do an investigation. I went there and met the lady, and I had to go to the locations where the primary digging was done. The first substation, let me call it that way, we met the leader. I was talking to the leader when I saw that there was a shack right there. So I asked, what was that shack for? And I was told that it contained a generator. So I said, I want to go and inspect the generator. I was there with the security people who were accompanying me. Then one of them shouted, "Hey, Raja!" Meanwhile, we were faced that way, looking at the generator. And we asked the person, why have you shouted that way? He said, look, right close to the door was a snake, Osabarima Neha yellow. And because of the noise, the snake became excited and was bending the head up and down. So we were trapped in, the head was to the door. How were we going to come out of it? So anytime it turned the head, one of us slipped out. Until all of us eventually went out. But the first person who went out alerted the rest of the gang. There were about 20. So when the last person left the room, about 5 of them, armed with stakes and whatever, were coming to kill the snake. They spent about 20 minutes. They couldn't locate, they couldn't find the snake. So I had to continue my job. I finished and I went to the final place. A place had been reserved for me to go and start writing my report. I saw something being bent just close to the office. I asked what that was. Then somebody told me, "Are you lucky, pa?" I said, why? This table I was going to sit and work, a black snake from the ceiling fell on that very table. This time, they managed to kill the snake, and that was what was being burnt when we got there. The concession was about a reasonably big one. The bungalows were interspersed within the concession. They used a generator which supplied the bungalows within the concession. The last person to go to bed switches off the generator. So you can imagine my experience in the morning, going to sleep in the dark, in the forest. Till the following morning. I just went into my car and drove back to Accra. Told my boss, so my boss is a Scottish man, Mr. Barnes. He started laughing at me. Are you afraid of snakes? I couldn't answer him, but when I just walked out of his office, I was thinking in my head, you know me, Indian, a snake charmer. So I got myself here, my involvement with this university. There's something which was left out of what has been said about me. I was at home when Professor Adobing sent for me. There was a demonstration of one of our villages about the normal, what we have come to realize, that the problem between the village and the university. As soon as I got to his office, I had a call from the then president, President Kufuor. The message was that there's an application from the university to the accreditation board, and they needed my approval letter to be added to whatever information the university had sent. So, without going back to the palace, I stood in his office, designed a letterhead, wrote a letter, and left it at the Vice Chancellor's office to be sent to the accreditation board. It was later I got to know that that letter I wrote was the weight that propelled the admission for the medical school to be. So this is how far we have come, the university, myself, and we will continue in that vein. This is not a day for long speeches, but my assurance to the university is that there is this pending problem which we all have to come together and resolve once and for all. This problem between the university and the villages. We have already started, and I'm told the preliminary report is nearly finished. Hopefully, within the next week or so, we'll sit down and see how it will go. But I want to assure you that I will spend all the time available to me to make sure that whatever it is that is bothering the smooth academic teaching and the peaceful existence of this institution, I will do whatever I have to do to make sure my second object that I have in mind, because I'm an accountant, I'm close to the accountants or the students of the university. So I will offer the best graduating BSc accounting student every year 2,000 Ghana cedis. And my last offer, I've started talking to Professor Davis and Professor Jojo Egan to adapt elementary schools in Cape Coast, nurture them so that they become competitive. It's disheartening when results of BEC are published and the results from Cape Coast are, let me use the word, horrible. We have to change that situation. And the only way we can do that is to get expertise, especially from the university, to assist us in that area. I have about 4 sub-chiefs who are education biased. So I'll get them involved, we'll form a committee, and immediately we start working so that at least the name of Cape Coast being an educational hub will not die. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to talk too much, but to say thank you, everybody, for being here today, and especially to the University of Cape Coast, University of Competitive Choice. I'm proud to be a member of this noble institution. And Ofinderikwen, what is going to happen? So thank you, everybody, and may the good Lord bless you.